We're live. Welcome to OddsJam TV. Brought to you by OddsJam. It's me and Steve, a likely pair. Click those links below for the best sports books in your state. Steve, do you think people get tired of hearing me say this?
I do.
I knew you did. And the OddsJam Partner Program, where you share it and you get the link and you get 20% of all revenue generated from that link. I got the music cranking here. I got to turn it down just a little bit. That's called engineering there. Steve, live chat available. Like and subscribe. Like this and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Fill out the form below in the description to get a personal one-on-one tutorial how to make $2,500 per month sports betting. You can talk to Mike or me on that. You can email Mike at oddsjam.com, Bob at oddsjam.com. Let's get that TikTok going, OddsJam_nuts with a Z. Discord link is below. Join the group. And Prize Picks link. Check that out. There is a $100 deposit match, if I can speak. All right, let's fade the music out. Little live engineering. Me and Steve here, and we haven't gotten to talk since last night. And Steve is in the house, says Mac Jones. But Steve, the Lightning got it done last night, and really, I tell you what, there's two things I want you to think about here. Besides Vasilevsky, who's a great goaltender, and Steven Stamkos is a Hall of Famer. So Victor Hedman's a hell of a player. Okay. They probably got 3 Hall of Famers on the team, maybe 4. All right. But let's just, I want you to look at 2 things. All right. Number one, the Tampa Bay defense is really good. Okay. And they block shots, and Victor Hedman, he plays 28, 29 minutes a night, and he can control the play. Number one. Secondly, their forwards, it's called back checking. They come back into their zone and they check the other forwards of the other team. The Rangers didn't have a tremendous amount of chances. They did have some slot chances, and come on, let's face it. Vasilevsky made a couple of just phenomenal saves. And Shesterkin got outplayed, I thought, last night. What's your thought?
Yeah, I'm not happy this morning. I lost a fair amount of money on the game last night. But we said it last night after the first period. I didn't have a good feeling after the first period, and you just had a feeling the entire game that Tampa Bay was going to find a way to win, and they ultimately did. My condolences to anyone who was dumb enough to lay Rangers plus 1.5. That would have hurt. That was like minus 265, and congrats if you had the balls to lay Tampa Bay minus 1.5. That had to be a nice payout. But
that close to doing that. I did take the money line and the under, but I came that close to doing what I did the game before. I bet all 3 the game before. I really should have sprinkled a little on the minus 1.5, but I could force myself to do it because I just didn't know, with the Rangers, winning 8 in a row at home.
Exactly.
Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. I really thought it was going to be like a 1-0 game or maybe a 2-1 game. But obviously it's not over. The Rangers haven't lost an elimination game yet. That's why they're still here. It's going to be very difficult. I think they're now plus 400 on the series line. So roughly maybe 20% chance to do it. But, I wouldn't count them out. Although, like we said before we came on, I think that fight after the game was telling, you don't behave like that after a loss. You take a cheap shot unless you're defeated. So,
right.
I don't know.
Well, Stamkos probably said something to him. Like, we're going to whip your ass in game 6.
Oh, yeah.
You're done, loser. Mac Jones wants to know, where is Mike? I have no idea. Where the hell is Mike? What's up, fellas? Corey Hood, good to see you, man. We don't, when we do this spot here, we have no idea how many people are going to show up. A lot of times, not a lot, but it seems like live streams have been getting better and better and better and better. All right, we got a game tonight. We got an NBA game tonight. It's a big one, considering the Celtics are up 2-1. Steph has got a bad foot, and every play right now, Steve, is to the under on Steph, and every play, I think it's quite telling. They have raised the over under to 109 is what I caught, 109 and 108.5, where it had been like 106.5. Let me ask you this: are the books overreacting to the offensive barrage from Game 3?
I think so. Although, the Celtics adjustment has been, just going a bit smaller, and even though they did dominate the boards in Game 3, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, both these teams are 3-point centric, so I get it. And the Warriors are probably going to have to outscore them because their defense has just been horrible. I mean, this is a weird game tonight. I think, probably unless you just want to bet it small for entertainment, I would say don't bet this game, and then just either, if the Warriors win, I would like them again in Game 5. If the Celtics win, I think they get the sweep next game most likely. Or not the sweep, but they close them out. But yeah, we can get into it a little bit. I mean, I've said it ad nauseum over the past few weeks about the Warriors' weaknesses is the way how the roster is constructed. They have to make the decision of either sacrificing offense or defense, in the fourth quarter in crunch time, and it hasn't been working. So,
Right.
in my opinion, they need to get a more athletic wing, and that would be give Kuminga more minutes. And for whatever reason, Kerr is refusing to do it. And, I like Kerr. I think he's a good coach. But, I think, if he keeps doing what he's been doing, I mean, this could easily be 3-0. If it wasn't for one third quarter, this is probably 3-0. So they need to, make some adjustments, and Curry has to be healthy. Curry has to be the best player in the game if they're going to win. So he's going to have to probably score 35 to 40 points. If he's not healthy, he ain't doing that. So there's too much, there's too much uncertainty there. And I mean, do I trust Kerr to make the adjustments? Not really. I mean, hopefully he does, but if he doesn't, they're going to lose by double digits again. So, this is a tough game to sort of handicap.
All right, so let me share my screen here real quick because I want to show this aspect right here. This is first half total points, okay? And even right now, at under 109.5, you could still get minus 130. The number is 108 on the total, which has gone up 1.5 since Game 3, okay? But the fact that you still have value at, under 108.5 at minus 115, I'm really kind of surprised about that. And then look at the value you get at under 107.5 and under 106.5. And that's one aspect. That's first half total points. Now I want to take you to a place that we went to last night, which was the point spread, which right now is 4. But we have already said that none of these games have been close. Right. And honestly, I think the Celtics, I mean, if they win, I think they're going to win by 10 or more. Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think, the safest play is, betting the Warriors minus 9.5, which would be a very nice value.
Okay.
Or the Celtics minus 9.5. And then, when one team wins by 10, you're going to get the plus money payout. Obviously, one team could win by less and you would lose both. But, I mean, that hasn't been happening at all in the playoffs. I think the spreads only come into play 4 times total since the middle of April. So, the odds are in your favor. And the reason for it just because of the 3-point shot. I mean, one team gets hot, one team's not, and they blow them out. I mean, that's,
Right.
really how it works.
So what do you say? You take the Warriors plus 9.5? Minus. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Where's that play at? I just have to see if I can even find that here. Okay, here we go. Minus 9.5. Holy cow.
Yeah, I was going to say, it should probably be around plus 400. Yeah,
it's plus 460, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think that actually hits tonight. Like I'm probably gonna have a small bet on the Warriors money line because again, don't bet the Warriors plus 4. That's the worst bet you can make tonight, even if it wins. Right. Yeah.
So you're saying you would bet the Warriors minus 9.5 and the Celtics minus 9.5?
See, yeah, I mean, so if you've been doing that the whole series, you've won every game, right? Because so that way, regardless of outcome, you're going to get the plus money. So obviously, you would prefer the Warriors because you would make, essentially 2-1.
Right.
Or really 3-1 because you would lose a unit.
Yeah, you'd lose a unit. Yeah, it would be 3-1. So it's plus 210 on and basically you would gain just a little bit if you hit the plus 210. If you just played one unit, if you played one unit on each.
Right. So I mean, you would either win 1 unit if the Celtics won by 10 plus, or you'd win 3 or 3.5 units really if the Warriors won by 10 plus.
That's a very interesting strategy, Steve. I kind of like that. That's very, very interesting. All right, let's go to chat here real quick because I do want to. Jacob Trainer Savage, Steve on the GSW minus 9.5.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty savage, but I mean there's there's a lot that supports it. Like the Warriors haven't lost off a loss. The Celtics off a win in the playoffs. I think on the road they haven't won. At home, I think they're only 2 they have a losing record. It's 3-8 now off a win in the playoffs.
Right. Well, that's an interesting strategy, one that I did not think of at all. All right, I want to touch real quick on a couple of things. First off, let us get an update on what is going on in the golf tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, our boy Matt Fitz is in the lead, or tied for the lead with Wyndham Clark. Clark goes off at 148. Fitzpatrick's on 2. He's -1 for the day. He was -6 yesterday. Following Clark and Fitzpatrick is Smalley and Keith Mitchell, who are both done with their rounds today and both shot 3 under. Followed by Matt Wallace, Sam Burns, Scotty Scheffler. He's got to show up, doesn't he? Patrick Rogers, Lee Hodges, Charlie Hoffman, who I can't figure out, Rory McIlroy, Doug Gim, and Tony Finau, who just got started. Harold Varner III, really disappointing round, +2 today, is at -3, along with Mackenzie Hughes and Jim Nouse. And that's about it. What happened to our boy? Where in the heck's he at, Steve? Shane Lowry. Where in the hell did he go?
Yeah, he's all right. He's -2. He's we see him to finish in the top 20. But I'll tell you what, our man Ryan Armour, who we have a 7-1 ticket on to finish in the top 20, went -4 today, so he's going to make the cut. And this guy's the most accurate driver on tour. And I'll tell you what, I think he's going to get it done. So,
he's -4 today.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say, if you haven't bet it yet, bet Fitzpatrick. I actually bet him again at 4-1 this morning.
Okay.
He's going to win this tournament, and I think he's going to be even money after today. He's going to be he'll definitely be minus after tomorrow. This course is just absolutely perfect for him. And
Why is that?
Because he's an accurate driver and he's an elite approach player. And this course has 3 long par 3s. He's one of the best par 3 players It has 2 very reachable par 5s. He's one of the best at par 5 scoring. So this course is literally like, if there was ever a course that was tailor-made for him, it was this week. And that was what I said. Like, Fitz was my favorite by far. So, yeah, I mean, and, this field's weak. And guys like Scotty and JT, they really don't want to win before a major because they don't feel like having the pressure of contending come Sunday and having to do it again next week on a much bigger stage. Fitzpatrick's never won on tour, so this is big for him. So,
right.
The odds actually reflect that. Like, he's only 3 over Rory, which is nothing on a Friday afternoon, but he's the massive favorite. Same reason why. Rory, the big dogs are using this tournament to get warmed up for next week because it's very similar.
Right.
Fitzpatrick desperately wants to win, and unless he, I don't know, falls off a cliff, he's going to win this. So he's plus 250 live now. I mean, I'm telling you, by the end of the day, he's probably going to be minus 11, and he'll have like a few stroke lead, and he's going to be even money. So definitely bet him ASAP.
All right. Jacob Trainer says, I don't mind it, though. I took Celtics, but I kind of like the strategy. Yeah, it is a very cool strategy that Steve threw out there. I like it, too. All right. I want to share my screen one more time here, and I want to show people, because I promote this all the time, Steve. I'm as good of a team player as you're ever going to find in your life. All right. So I'm going to go to the golf page. You go to sports, do the drop down golf. And then here is, anytime you want to see these guys, Randall and Steve's article. All right. This is what you look for. Best bets, outright winner, top 10, top 20. We had it in the Memorial and the Charles Schwab, so on and so forth. Here we are with the RBC. I want you to look at how this is laid out. All right. Little talk about the previous week tournament. A little bit of the course overview, telling you, how long the course is. This is a par 70. Statistics to look at. These are really, really important statistics. If you're gonna bet golf, you need to know about strokes gained on approach, fairways gained, strokes gained, good drives gained, 3-putt avoidance, birdies gained, sand saves, all that stuff. And then what they do is they have, and Steve pretty well lays this out, they have an outright, okay, which is they basically pick a half a dozen players that they could outright win this tournament, and they give you their odds, and then a small write-up on each player, okay? And it shows you where the bet is at. Then, and by the way, best bet alert, Adam Hadwin finishing in the top 20. That was their favorite bet of the week, okay? Then we have the derivatives, which are top 10s, top 20s, top 30s. Some of these tournaments don't necessarily, you can't bet top 30, the lock it out. I really don't quite understand that because
the books are doing it. They're doing it for some reason.
Exactly. Now, I thought FanDuel would let you bet all the way to top 40.
Yeah, so like they used to do top 30s, which we liked. I mean, top 40s, it's kind of pointless because the odds are so low. Like we like to do like ideally like Fitzpatrick top 10 was probably my most confident pick, but like Hadwin plus 185 was better odds. So yeah, I mean, like Brandon Todd top 20 plus 270, Armour plus 700. Like that's really where you make your hay in golf. Like Larry top 20 minus 125. We really don't like doing that because, like a minus, in golf, it's tough because, golf, anything can happen. But this week was different because it was such a top heavy field that, the top guys, we were very confident would be able to finish in the top 20. So,
okay. So, and then as you can see, we break the derivatives down and show you where you can get these numbers at.
Yeah.
Now,
so
I want to tell people one thing here real quick. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Folks, the lines change. They change a lot. Okay. So because they got that number up there, I caught some better numbers than what they had on the board. And you basically what you're doing is you're betting 15, you're making 15 plays. That's the way they've laid it out per golf tournament. 6 outrights and 9 derivatives. And then here's what I want to know about strategy in betting golf, Steve. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm using very low unit structure to do this, and I'm making all of those the same amount. Okay,
Exactly. That's what you should do.
Okay.
Our best bet's 2 units, but if you just want to bet at 1, that's fine.
Right.
But yeah, and then like for the outrights, I mean, you can do it either way, but how we do it is we do it to win 10 units. So we just adjust the stake to just win 10 units. So if it's Fitzpatrick is 18-1, you would bet 0.333 units or whatever, right? To win, right. Or no, it would be so slightly more than that. But yeah, so essentially it doesn't matter who wins. So, if Hadwin wins, he's 45-1. JT wins, he's 10-1. It wouldn't matter. We would make 10 units either way. So we risked 1 unit on JT. On Hadwin, you'd risk, 0.2 units or whatever.
Mike texted me and he had to pick up his son. So that's why he's not here. That's cool. Steve and I are handling it fine. Real quick, here's a comment from Stuart Zimmerman. Steve had $5 on Fitzpatrick, first round leader. So close. Thank for the golf picks. You are amazing. And I do love the layout.
That was
the layout. I want to point this out to people. The layout that they have for the golf picks, I think, is truly professional looking, and it's good as the competition. I'm just telling you that right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we're up 60 units on the year, and it's going to be a lot more than that because, I mean, if Fitzpatrick wins and Armour finishes in the top 20, this could be another 20 unit.
Right.
Knock on wood. So, yeah, I mean, the model's proven, and, we kind of give it away. The statistics used is, we just strokes gained. Golf's so excellent because there's so many statistics involved in it that you can model it very easily. And then, so we just look at the course, say, okay, these are the statistics that are relevant for this week. And then we plug them into the model. We assign different point values for each one. It spits out the aggregate. And that's, what we have. And it was actually crazy because this week, number 1 was Fitzpatrick. Actually Hadwin, even though he had the 13 best odds, was our 4th pick. And amazingly, Ryan Armour was number 7, even though he was 200-1 to win. He won't win, but top 20, 7-1, really good.
Right.
So
yeah, very good. So and I want people to understand you can make a lot of money betting golf, okay? But you're going to have to make quite a few bets. It's not going to be, it's not like, playing a money line or a point spread, okay? It's a different type of betting, and it has to be multiple bets, or otherwise you're just getting lucky. You're throwing a dart.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, one thing that I found out, and came into play last week, the guy who won the year before may not win the following year, but he certainly he certainly gets into some sort of contention. Patrick Cantlay, we thought that maybe he was going to be a crappy tournament. He actually turned around and had a decent tournament. I look for players like him that won the previous year, but the problem is getting a good number in the top 20 for guys like that. You almost have to go top 10, and I'm leery about that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree. I mean, course history is a big part of it as well, but you have to bear in mind that a lot of these courses or a lot of these tournaments, the courses rotate. So, this is the Canadian Open. Last year, they didn't have it for the past 2 years because of COVID, but back in 2019, Rory won, but it was on a different course. The last time they played here was back in 2010. So the courses always rotate. So, course history, yes. Tournament history, not necessarily, because a lot of times the tournaments, it's, on a rotating course. But course history, I completely agree. Some guys just love certain courses. I mean, Spieth loves Augusta. Spieth's pretty much a top 10 machine. And there's just a lot of different, a lot of guys who prefer courses, and you just learn that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. If you can look at how they did last year, I mean, there's course history is definitely a part of golf. So
okay, so I got one more thing in golf, and then we're going to get out of that, and we're going to go look at a couple positive EV plays, and then we're going to do closing line and the whole 9 yards. All right, look, I've got a question about Brooks Koepka. All right, now he's a hell of a player. Well, he has been in his career so far.
Okay, yeah.
Is his injury having a major impact on his ability to win? Number one. And after we're done with that question, I need to talk to you about LIV. Okay. Very quickly. Yeah. So answer me the Brooke question first.
Yeah, I mean, Brooke, 4-time major champion. I mean, in his heyday, one of the best. And actually, it's really crazy because he's the third best odds to win the British Open. I just did a future article for that for OddsJam, and I don't understand that at all. I have to look more into that. But yeah, I mean, like Brooks is known as the big game hunter. He doesn't give a shit about these small tournaments. He's made that very clear. He only wants to win majors. He's won 4, but his attitude just doesn't sit well with me. Like he's publicly said, I don't like golf. I only do it because I'm good at it and it's my profession. Like Tiger Woods loves golf.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like so Brooks is just kind of a cocky MFer. But as far as he sucked this year. So is it part of his injury? I think so. Like he's he's always going to get relatively respectable odds at majors because of his past. But the idea that you can just come and turn it up out of nowhere, like golf doesn't work like that. Like
he has been a top 5 machine in majors. No two ways about it. All right.
Not lately.
So not lately. You're right. Definitely not last year. So I can bet if a player is going to finish top 10, top 20, top 40. Yes, you can. And in some books, you can bet top 30, and some of them have top 40. So it really depends on the book. And you know what you got to do? You got to start looking in all your books and seeing where this stuff is. All right. Final question.
Yeah. Well, let me touch on something quick. Unfortunately, OddsJam doesn't have that yet.
Right.
There is a site that does it. I'm not going to endorse a competitor. So, I guess if you want to do some research, you can find it. That's what I do. So I post the best lines based on that tool. Hopefully OddsJam will have it soon. I'm not sure what the issue is there. I think it's just hard to scrape it. I don't know. Right. But yeah, obviously, you want to get the best odds. Like, Armour was 7-1 to finish top 20 at one book. He was 4-1 at another. The 4-1's a bad bet if you can get 7-1. So
beautiful. We're really covering the golf in detail here, folks. Now, here's the final question before we go to closing line, or before we go to the positive EV page, real quick. What do you think of this LIV and Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson and now DeChambeau and now Reed and Kevin Na and all these guys? Because the PGA has pretty well said, you know what? We're done with your ass. You're out. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, okay. So, they got an absolute bundle to go there, right? Like, we're talking, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. Now, to them, that means a lot less than it would mean to us because they're already millionaires. They're already multimillionaires.
Right.
But, I can't fault him, especially a guy like DJ who's, he's already won majors. He's over the hill. He had a chance at, 100 million, wherever he got, whatever, But I think it does hurt their golf legacy somewhat. But, these guys don't really care about that. But I don't know. You can bet on the LIV on offshore. I think you can bet it in 3 states in the U.S. Every state has to get approval. So It will probably take a while. The problem is you can't watch it on TV. You have to watch it on YouTube or on the streaming site. So that's weird. And, it's very, very top heavy. Like there's DJ, there was Louis Oosthuizen, and then the next 10 people on the futures, I didn't even know who they were. And, I'm a pretty big golf guy. So, I think
two guys that it made sense for, Louis Oosthuizen and Ian Poulter. I totally understand that completely. Phil, you know what? I'm not a Phil fan. I've never been a Phil fan.
Me neither. Phil's a piece of shit.
Yeah. I've rooted for him when he's won majors. Just because, it's a pretty good story, especially the British Open that, and of course Augusta. But in all honesty,
last year.
I really am I'm not a Phil guy. So you know what, Phil, you're not going to be on the PGA Tour. I don't know what the heck you're doing, but it's all about the money. And that's really what it's all about. All right, let's go on to very quickly. Let's see if
Phil would smack his mother in the head with his driver for $100.
Oh, that's funny as hell. I'm sorry, folks, but that was friggin' funny for $100. All right. Let's take a look and see if we see anything here. We'll stick with basketball. You like anything on the Lynx in Mystics or the Wings in Storm? Are you feeling anything on WNBA at all?
I was really out in the WNBA, and then I had like a 2-game losing streak, but then there were really not too great of games.
Right.
Yeah, I may have a play on that. I need to.
Well, there's a couple of Lynx plays here. Okay, Minnesota Lynx plus 7.5 point spread and plus 8.5. They're both positive EV plays, and a 15 and a 14-cent market with. Get them on BetMGM plus 105 for the plus 7.5, and then minus 110 on DraftKings and BetMGM for the plus 8.5. I don't know. That just seems like an interesting play. I think I'm just going to throw this in my bet tracker
too. Yeah,
I'm going to throw in my bet tracker just for a half a unit to see what happens. And then
the Lynx were plus EV the other day too, and Modi was on them, and they got fucking smacked. So I don't know.
Right, and we have nothing else in regards to any more. We've got the Dream and the Mercury first half money line for the Mercury minus 140, but it's a 24-cent market with. We've got an over points in that game, minus 110, 18-cent market with, over 153.5. What's the average score in a WNBA game? You got any idea?
It depends. Yeah, I was like 130-ish. What's the line?
153.5.
Oh, 153. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. Not
are they scoring in
150? Yeah,
okay.
They're scoring in the 60s, high 60s, low 70s. So I guess 150 is about right.
Okay. Well, this is 153.5. Let's go ahead and add it. We're gonna put a half a unit on it and see what happens. I know nothing about the WNBA, but I'm gonna bet it just for the hell of it. All right.
Wait, sorry, which game was that? That was the Sky game?
Yeah, hang on a second. That is the no, that's the Mercury and Dream game.
Okay. Yeah, because I do like it over in that Sky Sun game. Both those teams score a lot. Sun are scoring like 80 points a game. Actually 88.
So. Well, let's go back here because I did miss a positive EV play. And I've got to hit this. This is directly in the Celtics Warriors game. Let's do it. You're looking at the positive EV play is under 215.5, and I knew it'd be on BetMGM. All the unders are on there. Under 215.5, 15-cent market with minus 120. I mean, I've been going with the under in this game. I'm going to do it again. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's been zigzagging with the total too.
Right.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I think, the Warriors are going to have to lock them down if they have any chance. So I think it's going to be close, but I could see like a 105, 102 type game. So I like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then that would definitely be the under. I like that play. All right. We're going to do the closing line. Okay. And the closing line is each one of us get to talk about something in sports, no matter what it is. I'm going to talk about a little bit of hockey. Okay. Folks, I just want you to remember one thing. If you want to be a Stanley Cup champion, you got to have some blood and you got to have some guts. And, there are players like Corey Perry, Pat Maroon that just got a nose for the puck, like a defensive player who seems to be able to recover fumbles. Okay. I mean, he's just got a nose for the football. There's guys like that, and they get in what we call the dirty areas, which is in the paint and in the goaltender's kitchen sink, which goaltenders don't like. And there's a little bit of bumping every once in a while, but as long as you're not, being a jerk about it, it is part of the game. There are people out there that complain about that, but I'm just saying right now, you have to have those types of players. When you have a couple of those types of players, you're even that much better, because when it comes to playoff hockey, throw the friggin' puck at the net, because you saw on the Rangers goal last night, you never know what can happen. The guy is on the sideboards and he throws a little flutterer up there, and it threw Vasilevsky off and went over his shoulder. Anything can happen, and that's what you do. Throw the puck to the net. Good luck to the Rangers in Game 6. But I just can't go against those greasy goals, man. That's my closing line. Steve, your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if you haven't bet him yet, bet Fitzpatrick. It's very rare for me to endorse a golfer, on Friday in the middle of the round. But I really think, he's going to tear the courts up today. And, I'd be very surprised if by the end of the day tomorrow, there's not a minus in front of his name on the live odds. So, Fitzy,
I wouldn't
bring us
I wouldn't be surprised either. He's -1 today. He's through 4 holes. So, we know that there are stretches in this golf course that, as always, that are birdie holes. Speaking of which, where are those birdie holes on this course? Do you have any idea?
I mean, both par 5s, very birdieable. They're both short. They're actually even eagleable. And then, the par 3s are short. I mean, 18 is really easy.
Okay.
But, I mean, even the par 4s are short. The majority are between 400 to 450. So,
well, what did you say? The course is 7,000?
Yeah. And, I mean, the big reason for that's there's five par 3s, which is, why it's par 70. So,
yeah, I know. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, folks. That takes care of OddsJam TV. Steve and I hooked up. We did it, buddy.
All right, let's go. Yeah, boom. All right, guys.
Hey, don't go anywhere, Steve. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. We'll see you guys tonight for early betting for